My A1C when I was diagnosed was north of 15, so it was my nurse practitioner took a guess that it was probably 16, and fasting blood glucose was 404. Since then, I've lost a total of 88 pounds, not since diagnosis, but including pre-diagnosis, and my energy is through the roof, and my A1C now is 7.9, so that is half of what it was when I was diagnosed. I went to my doctor for a routine physical, had routine blood work. One afternoon, it was on a Monday afternoon. The next morning, I got a call at about 8 a.m. from my doctor's office asking me to come in. Obviously, nobody likes to get a call like that, asking me to come in that quickly, and it couldn't be great. Went in, my blood glucose number was 404, which was terribly alarming since I had never had anything like that. It had been a while since it was checked, but it had been in the 80s the last time I had had a check. So I had mentioned to the nurse practitioner that I had at one time gone vegan for about 4 months, and that's when my last check was for my blood glucose, and that's when it was in a really good spot. So she just immediately suggested we consider the Mastering Diabetes program, let me know about a study that was going on at Ohio University. I'm in West Virginia. I'm just right on the border of Ohio, so Ohio University isn't far away. I was all in from that moment and came home, cleared out my fridge, got all the information I could, binged YouTube videos, and so yeah, that's how I jumped in, all in. My cholesterol was 231, and my triglycerides, they didn't seem terribly concerned, but at 236, definitely out of range. My LDL was actually in range, but still 127, obviously higher than I had expected. And A1C was through the roof. As a matter of fact, it was so high they didn't know exactly what it was. They checked it in the office, and she said it was above 15, but apparently what they used to measure could only go to that. So she guessed 16, but she really didn't know that for certain. So pretty alarming numbers to begin with. I had always been one of those people that just sort of pushed through whatever it was. If I was tired, I just moved on. The enormity of that kind of came in on me, and I teared up sitting in the office, and she was so kind and explained to me. I said, the fact that you are calm is making me like strangely calm and not freak out. And she said, well, if you weren't freaking out, I would. She said, I can tell you're taking this seriously and you'll do what is needed. And of course I said, absolutely. And really from that moment, as I said, I went home, cleared out my fridge, and I said, this is it. We're gonna do whatever it takes, however long it takes. Thankfully it didn't take very long. When I left the doctor's office that day, that, as I mentioned, that I was all in, but it took a little while to get enrolled through, since it was a study at Ohio University. It took just a little bit. So in the interim, I did my own research, and like I said, I kind of binge watched videos, Mastering Diabetes and several other. I was working the program without even knowing everything about the program. So, but as soon as I got completely kind of plugged in, especially when I started working with Marco, we were able to really just fine tune some of the things. I knew kind of what not to eat and what not to do, but learning what to do, I guess that was a little bit of a learning curve, trying to think about combining, and the whole combining foods kind of thing has always been kind of trendy and all of that. But I have learned that there's a little bit of truth to some of that, as far as like having greens with my morning oatmeal. It seems to really, really steady things. Well, I've lost about 88, actually almost 89 pounds now over the last 2 years. 24 of that has been since I started the program. And I truly can barely find the words to say what a difference it has made in my energy level. I mentioned that was in New York this past weekend with my 19-year-old niece, and I wore her out. She could not, I wanted to go to a flea market, and she just said, I'm just too tired. And I thought, wow, that doesn't happen. And I think I got accustomed to feeling fatigue and just pushing through it because you do what you have to do on a daily basis. Because I had understood when I started doing my research on diabetes, I understood that fatigue is a big part of that, and it had never registered to me, "I'm feeling fatigued." I just thought, "I'm middle-aged, and this is what middle-aged and being overweight feels like." Well, I'm still middle-aged, and I'm still not at goal, so I'm still overweight. That's not what it feels like. To me, I wake up now with so much energy. I literally sometimes I kind of caught myself the other day. I hopped up off the sofa and kind of stood there shocked, thinking, "What did you just do, crazy lady?" But it occurred to me there's I have so much energy now that I kind of don't know what to do with it, and I'm 58 years old. That's odd, but very exciting. So those last 24 pounds have really, even though that's a smaller subset of what I've lost overall, it's made the biggest difference. That, and obviously the way I got there with really feeding myself with food that serves me well and that provides the energy instead of just weighing me down. It's really kind of funny because I just absolutely love my breakfast, and it is so simple. It is literally just oats, a few handfuls of either kale or spinach. It's generally spinach, maybe 3 cups of that. Put some frozen fruit. This morning it was blueberries and cherries. Toss it in the microwave, and it's just I don't know, it's just delicious. And I missed it while I was traveling the last several days, and I could not wait till I could make that this morning. So, I love that. I'm a big vegetable person anyway, I kinda always have been, so I'll throw together kind of kitchen sink soups and salads, that kinda thing, just throw together anything I have. I've got a big pot of soup going right now, rainy day, it felt like a soup day. If you can not preach and just show people how much energy you had. I was chasing around my 2-year-old great niece yesterday in the yard. My niece was kinda huffing and puffing a little, and I was like, "I'm fine." I think for me, it's kind of modeling it more than beating someone over the head. If anyone really is on the fence, I would say, just try it. You don't have to commit to the next 45 years. How about let's commit to the next 7 days? Who can't do 7 days? And just see if you feel better. My numbers started coming down in that period of time, and I wouldn't say that I'm atypical. I think most people, if they followed the program like I did, their numbers would start coming down in a week as well. From March 13th, so that was about 2 weeks, it had already gone from 404 to 174. About 3 weeks in, I was in the 113 range. My numbers, did come down really quickly. Really, within 3 weeks, I was in, like, the 113 range. I'd even dipped down into the 90s on occasion, so, it moved quickly. My A1C when I was diagnosed was north of 15, so it was my nurse practitioner took a guess that it was probably 16, and fasting blood glucose was 404. Since then, I've lost a total of 88 pounds, not since diagnosis, but including pre-diagnosis, and my energy is through the roof, and my A1C now is 7.9, so that is half of what it was when I was diagnosed. And I truly can't even explain the difference in the level of energy that I have. I've started running again, which I haven't done in many, many years. And I surprised myself the other day that I was able to do a mile without stopping. And I truly haven't done that in probably a decade. So just very excited with the level of energy I have now.